Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to Melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Melanin Mondays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. Yes, indeed, in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Let me know how we sound on the audio. It looks like it sounds good on my end. Y'all just let me know how we sound on my on that end over there. You dig? Man, we back like we never left. You know what I'm talking about? Oh man. First and foremost, I want to give a founding shout out to the KT Alien. Y'all never let me, man, y'all never fail, bro. That's one thing I'm gotta say about the KT Aliens. If coming through was a person, it would be the KT Aliens. Y'all always come through when it matters the most. I want to say thank you to all 70 plus of the KT Aliens that was in the building last night for history. Okay, for history. We made history last night for MAGAFest 2.0 featuring the good brother Blue Pillar. You know I'm talking about, Red Pillar, featuring and introducing Hitsayu Aku. Just saying his name is gonna get me to Japan. China flow. Man, yeah, A Star Is Born. So real talk. The intro was so fire. If we just wanted to say, you know what, guys, that's it for tonight. You like, guess what? Me and Blue is just gonna we're gonna post our PDFs, but you know, this is enough. Y'all good. Y'all plates are full. Good night. And people would have been good. You know what I mean? They would have been cool with that. It's just a testament, right, to everybody that's in the audience. It's just a testament This is an organic movement that you're seeing right now. This is an organic come up that you're seeing right now. This is not an industry plant. You know what I'm talking about? The brother literally was in the audience with the family. He's a KTLian. You feel me? And now he's a KTL All-Star. Now he's a KTL All-Star. So we're gonna rush him to the front of the line and let him do. He already got the stamp of approval from the upper room, from the higher ups. You feel me? The bat phone. I got a call on a bat phone earlier today. You know, from the higher ups, they gave him the stamp. So yeah, you're gonna see more of the young guard, and that's just what it is. All right. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. Let's see who's in the building, and then let's set the show off, and let's get y'all up out of here. We're gonna attempt to do this one, and don't judge me. We're gonna squeeze this into an hour, or maybe an hour and change, allegedly. You know, you never know when the energy is working, but yeah. We got Charleston in the building. We got Santa Rosa, and the only reason that I say that, and it's nothing personal. Y'all have no like, picture if Tony Starks was in a workshop with Watson, and then somebody sent a Watson 2 in Amazon in the mail, and he opened up two. It's like 3 Watsons. That's how I feel right now with all of these tools, and my toolboxes are open up. So I'm being stingy with my time right now. You feel me? I only got an hour to be on the YouTube. The rest of that I gotta spend that in the lab. I'm in the ghost kitchen. I'm sure y'all understand. You know what I'm talking about? Real quick, let's have a word from our sponsors, and then we will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, word from our sponsors, and then we will be right back.
The gods of intelligence aren't myths. They're here. Artificial intelligence is rewriting the rules of power right now. Will you master it or be mastered by it? Most are drowning in AI hype, hesitating, confused, while the future slips into the hands of those who act first. That's why Blackmagic 363 presents AI Masters, the Gods of Intelligence, with Seven Bomar and Red Pillar, 2 visionaries revealing how to align with AI to elevate your life and unlock true power. Seats are limited. Energy is high. History is unfolding now. Click below and reserve your spot for AI Masters, the Gods of Intelligence. The future belongs to those who move first.
All right. So we got Seminole, Florida in the building. We got Santa Rosa. We got Charleston in the building. New Haven in the building. We got Lansing in the building. Queens is in the building. Cali in the building. Norfolk in the building. Oakland in the building. Got that Charlie Kirk in the... That Kirkwood. That Kirk... that Kirkwood. Detroit in the building. All right. We got Chicago in the building. We got North Las Vegas in the building. St. Petersburg in the building. Savannah in the building. We got New Bedford in the building. Twin Cities in the building. All right. We got Louisville in the building. New Bedrock, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Wichita Falls, Saginaw, Minnesota, Barbados. I rely on Bed-Stuy to hold it down if I... Wilmington, Delaware in the building. Arizona in the building. We have Snellville, Georgia. Yo, the family is outside tonight. Damn, let me go outside and see how many stars is in the sky, because y'all deep up in here. Yes, Mama Asata. All right, Rising Power, Mama Asata Shakur. everybody that's sending all of their frequencies, pushing her past the front of the line, skipping everyone, right through the gates. All right. Naptown in the building. The blessing from the UK. Big up to the UK. Big up to Hollywood. Big up to Belize. You know what I'm talking about? Oh. Shout out to Memphis. Shout out to Flint. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Hartford. Shout out to Nashville. You feel me? Yeah, man. So, man, family is outside in the building. Let me let you know, ladies and gentlemen, before we even begin tonight, we're going to have some announcements that we are going to make. So our first announcement, of course, is that the replay, all right, the replay, okay? If you didn't make it yesterday, the replay is available. The replay is available, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake about it. We have that on deck. 7 hours. Okay. You know how we do. 7 hours, 7 and change for that matter. Yeah. We did what we were supposed to do. So that's available for your viewership. It is on KTL University.
Bells, you see what I'm saying? We're dealing with the mimetic.
We put a clip up on KTL. You could go and check that out, about a 25-minute clip with the young
ritual engine. MEMETIC. Boom. So when we're talking about game theory, the reason why it's called game theory is because any interaction in this system is formalized as a game, right? So it comes complete with players, strategies, pitfalls, playoffs, buffs, debuffs, DLCs, drops, all type of shit. You see what I'm saying? The game can be as complex or as simple as you want, but the overall system that governs all games is more or less the same. Originally developed to understand economics, war, and politics, game theory now underpins everything from evolutionary biology to negotiation tactics. At its heart, it's about analyzing incentives, risks, and rewards in a system of competition and cooperation, right? So we can say competition, think capitalism. Cooperation, think communism, socialism. All different agents, all different players, all different stances and spectrums of this political, lifestyle, social organization game that we are playing together. When you apply this lens to social media, the connection becomes very, very clear. Every like, heart, and follow becomes a point in a game that you had no hand in designing. This is an externally imposed system where your actions are rewarded or punished according to someone else's rules. Gamification feels like play, but it's actually behavioral conditioning. It's actually social engineering at its finest. Platforms engineer feedback loops like slot machines, making you optimize for approval and visibility. So please understand that when I'm saying all of this, what I'm saying to you is this isn't entertainment. It's a weaponized game theory. It's a death game theory. Death game theorem. Look around you. A lot of niggas getting bodied. They racking up points. That's the premise that all of this is built on.
So that's why social media has turned into Squid Games.
There you go.
Damn near every rising, there's people who crapped out of the Hunger Games before on your timeline.
Hunger Games, Squid Games, Maze Runner. All movies you can watch to see how Ready Player One, even deeper is Ready Player One. You can, go to Wreck-It Ralph.
Right, Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah. That whole 20-minute clip is available on a platform, but that whole 7-hour dissertation is available on KTLUniversity.com right now, and it's there for the low. Make sure y'all go ahead and get the replay. You're gonna see more of the young brother definitely making some moves to make sure that the information, which is, in my humble opinion, a upgraded program, right? The lexicon, the delivery, everything is an upgraded program. It's a 5.0. That's gonna get incorporated into this network. You feel me? There's going to be a rebranding, there's going to be a rebooting, there's going to be a remastering, there's going to be a refurbishing. You know, the only thing constant is change. The only thing constant is change. So when we cross that 50th when we cross that 50th threshold, that landmark, everything is subject to change. You feel me? Everything is subject to change. Do not be ashamed. You know what I mean? Do not feel like something is strange or deranged. Everything is subject to change. You smell me? But yeah, we went in last night. I'm very proud of both Blue Pill, myself, and the good brother Hit Sayo for the work that we put in. Even to the point where I've decided that I might even add on an appendum, and an appendum means uh an extra part. You know what I mean? I feel that this manifesticity, it deserves an epilogue. So we're gonna give it about 4 days to like 4 to 5 days after Sunday. We're gonna let that shadow. We're gonna let that 5 day shadow cast, and then we're going to give you an addendum. Right? Thank you. An addendum. Right? So there's even going to be an addendum with this series, because this series consists of uh, uh um about 3 or 4 shows that we did on this platform. Uh the Dead Internet Theory 1, 2, and 3, that is a part of Manifest Destiny. It leads into it. Fuck around, we might even put a whole book together when this shit is all said and done. This is some good reading. This is some tabletop reading right here. This is a great workbook. This is a great textbook. This is a great coffee book. You feel me? Nah, real talk. Like just pictures, like just image wise, just image alone. Think about it. Like the images alone, the pictures are just crazy. You know? But let's get into some things, because one thing that I can assure you is that the the wheel continues to turn, and nothing is slowing down. Everything is still speeding up. So what remains to be true is that there's multiple theaters that are at play right now, with multiple quote unquote bad actors carrying out their scripts, because the world is a stage, and we've come to the conclusion that center stage, right? Think Truman Show. Center stage is this whole goddamn stage. Like, I'm at the point where I am coming to the conclusion that it's all 3-letter organization, right? 3-letter organizations. Everybody works for someone else. And then they ultimately all work for one person, right? And when you hear the word Holy Mount Zion, just take out Holy Mount, and that's who I'm talking about. And it's, you know, an interesting part about it, especially from an observer, because you can't help but to look. You can't help but to observe. You can't help but to stand back and pay attention. Be like, yo, there is some conflict taking place amongst the whites. You know, there's always conflicts taking place amongst the whites. However, this time around, it's a different type of conflict taking place amongst the whites. Let's diagnose the conflict that's taking place amongst the whites. Okay. Now, the whites are telling on each other. Yeah. You know, yeah. They telling on each other. They pointing fingers. They revealing things that they probably took vows not to reveal. You dig? And it's interesting because we're not talking about people outside of America. No. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people right inside of the borders of America. Okay. We're talking about homegrown Europeans from this side of the border and whatnot. They're beginning to open up their eyes. They're beginning to speak a lot of truths to power. They're beginning to publicly declare that they want to be on the right side of history. They're beginning to call out the hypocrisy. They're beginning to speak on they're decoding. Like I saw a video where a European lady was playing Stephen Miller's speech, and she was freeze framing it and breaking down every single thing that he was saying and how it was code. She was breaking down the coded language and deciphering it and showing how he literally went up there and spoke to his people in their language, unabashed, unmolested, right? Unapologetically. That's what he did. He got up there and he used all coded language, and he talked about he gave a war cry, and they politicized, they radicalized, radicalized, and desecrated Captain Kirk's memorial service, where this was the first time in Republican history that I've seen a memorial for a Republican and they didn't show you the parents or the family. The only person that they showed you was the spouse, not even the children. You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? How could you turn somebody's memorial into a political rally in a span of 3 or 4 days? You don't find that suspicious? And then when the event promoters are too busy and don't show up, what do you go and do? You go and give a phone call to Vince McMahon and you get WWE Productions to pull up to Phoenix, Arizona and give you the same pyrotechnics from WWE Raw. Huh? You even had the same announcers, god damn it. And then what do? You send a private jet for Dana White to just make sure that this whole UFC fake shit goes down as planned. I smell a goddamn rat. I'm not buying it. I just can't, bro. You're not putting my brain in a headlock. You understand? That shit was a double. And then to just make matters even best, right? What do? Oh, you make this the coming out party for Erica Kirk. She's coming out to fireworks. She's coming out to confetti. Huh? She had a goddamn theme song. She's stopping and pausing. They got overhead cameras and drone shots. Like, nigga. Does she have the belt or does she not have the belt? Bud Crawford didn't even have a better come out than that, nigga. And he have like 5 belts. They gave Bud Crawford a regular come out. Erica Kirk came out. Nigga. That stage put EYL and VestFest to shame. That was the goddamn... Did you see the crowd? Did you see the crowd? That was the Purge Fest. Did you see the crowd? Huh? That was the Purge Fest. She had Beyonce tech. Yeah, she had Beyonce pyrotechnics with the Summer Jam screen. Huh? And then they got up there and was talking greasy. Nobody would have never look with the Skeeter too. Pray for the enemies. Let's pray for the enemies. Okay? We forgive you. I forgive you, young man. Young man, I forgive you. That's all Skeeter. And then right after that, Trump is like, I don't forgive nobody. No, I hate all my enemies. Death to all of them. They went crazy up there. Straight WrestleMania. Didn't even give Terry a shout out. What happened to Hulk Hogan, nigga? They didn't even give Terry a... How did Charlie get a going away ceremony and they didn't even give Terry one like that? We didn't see Brooke and the kid with the son with the water in the head. We didn't see the Hogans roll out. They was rolling with Vince McMahon. They must have did all kind of Scarface lines with that nigga, Terry Hogan. And he didn't even they didn't even open up a stadium and do none of that for him. But Charlie and his wife, she got initiated into the WWE. She got initiated into the Hall of Fame. Charlie's Angels. You know? Just remember that they made it legal for the government to do propaganda on their citizens. This is a legal precedent, right? And also understand that when you see people having dinner with the king and the queen in the Buckingham Palace from big tech, and they rolling in private and everywhere where Trump go, right? He's like, this is the Republican BMF right now. He like, yeah, like we all put our bank accounts together. Wherever I pull up to, them niggas is coming with me. Yachts, G5s, spaceships, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? We standing on couches. They was in Buckingham Palace standing on couches. You feel me? With the Docker pants on, no socks. Slide with the loafers, Louis loafers, standing on Charles' couch and whatnot, listening to Ye and shit. You know what I'm talking about? That's Donald Trump. That's Mark Zuckerberg. That's Elon Musk. That's Peter Thiel. That's all them niggas from Palantir. They the family. Nigga. This is Trump's BMF, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Trump is Big Meech right now. Trump is Demetrius. Donald is Demetrius. You know what I mean? We got Donald Flinnery. You know what I'm talking about? PMF. Facts. Son, this nigga from Queens, a dude who was raised by mobsters from Queens, a mobster, lampooning as a businessman, is moving around like PMF. Wherever Donald Dust Demetrius goes, he's bringing niggas with. They could buy bars out. He don't got to worry about nothing. He's like, fam, oh, Mark got it? Who, Elon got it? Does fucking Jeff have it? Because I'm trying to drink tonight. Where them hoes at? I'm trying to get laid. You know what I'm talking about? They move, they meth. You know? Skeeter means game. Somebody's running game, that's Skeeter. Right? Yeah, it's the Don Dada. You know what I'm talking about? Don Dada was like, yo, I'm going to do this shit bigger than Jeffrey. I'm going to do it bigger than Jeffrey. So he's moving around with the billionaire tech dudes. You mean to tell me that the tech people don't have technology, this literally hologram technology to this day? Because I literally could pull it up. I could pull it up. I could show you the technology that's available to regular people. Over the counter, they would call it. Magic Leap, I believe. So they got the technology where they literally could wrap light. I mean, they got plasma technology, they got hologram technology, they have Hollywood level technology with they tricknology. They could trick a lot of people. And I think that tricknology is one of the wings of propaganda. Propaganda is an arm of warfare. So it is warfare. Psychological psyops, psychological operations is warfare. People are invading people's minds, their hearts, their spirits, right? Keeping them occupied. Deceptive warfare, keeping them occupied. Disruptive technology, skewing, messing them up, taking them off, making them drift, taking them off of their quote unquote path, off of their journey, distracting them. Having people stuck in cortisol, fear, stuck in fear, right? They're turning up the fear index. They're turning up the fear index, right? Let's go to some of the video. We coming with the videos tonight. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna let the people out there, the creators, the content creators, the researchers, the journalists. I do salute all of the journalists that are out here making content. You know, it is something that I have to acknowledge because that bite size information, it means something. It does something for me. Let's set this shit off the right way though. Let's get it right. Let's get right to it. Let's break down what this whole thing is about. Let's break down what this whole ritual is about. Let's break down what we may not realize, but really think about what this whole shit is about. Why would they set up a WrestleMania? Why would they fake things? Why would they trick? Why would they why would they trick people into a false emotional, right, collective outpouring of energy, right? Energy. harvesting, energy harvesting during a blood moon.
There are four main massive energy loosh feeding systems on Earth right now that are literally specifically designed to feed off of your soul, which is your light body. These are called black cubes, which are invisible frequency devices that siphon emotional energy from fear, from guilt, from worship, and from trauma. This energy is called loosh, and it is literally used to fuel systems and fallen off-planet beings who have cut themselves off from the source of all energy through free will choice. So the main black cubes are hidden underneath the Vatican, where loosh is harvested through guilt and confession, in Mecca through ritual worship around the Kaaba, in Manhattan through fear of money, debt, and failure, at CERN through scientific experiments that create artificial wormholes and pierce dimensional fabric. And so the more fear and disconnection that humanity feels, the more these power grids literally are empowered. But the truth will set us free, and awareness dissolves consent. We are not food, we are eternal source consciousness field. And so when we stop resonating with fear and guilt, we become unharvestable. So when we restore our base 12 eternal life, tree of life, 12-stranded DNA, our energy literally becomes non-loosh compatible because we are connected to the eternal source consciousness field. And that's why I created a rapid 12-strand DNA activation.
Yes. So let's get into it now that we know that, right? This is the news that they don't want you to know about, right? This is the news that they don't want you to know about. This is going to show you proof that they were sucking energy and they were harvesting energy, and they did not want you to know about other things that were going on and around the world, because you are literally cut off from the rest of the world when it comes to this information. American Gods, Manifest Destiny 2.0. American Gods, Manifest Destiny. We showed how this is an invisible prison, right? How they have people stuck and whatnot. How they have people in this quote unquote this web, right, where the rest of the world is being blocked out from our perception of what's going on, right? But imagine if you were seeing this instead of seeing Captain Kirk. Imagine if you were seeing all of this during the blood moon, during in between these eclipses and whatnot. You were able to resonate with it. You're able to pick your spirit up. This just goes to show that the energy that hit the planet, these people received this energy because they wasn't getting blocked by the psyops. The psyops blocked everybody, and people did not receive the energy that was hitting that planet. But people around the world, they were activated, and this is what they were doing during that period. 300 consecutive days. The whole world was uprising. The whole world was uprising. They were killing them neutrinos. They were getting activated. Solar maximum. They feel something. If you stand for truth and you want to travel and you feel that, you know, you could take a break from the 50 states, I would encourage you to go around the world. I would encourage you to set it up right now, you know what I mean, while you have the means to, and travel, move around. You know what I mean? Move around. That's what I would do. That's what I would do, you know, cuz you know, meanwhile, people are doing shit like this behind the wall. This is how they moving in the sorry ass states. You know what I mean? Check this out.
Anti-Semitism is the canary in the coal mine in a society. And its twin is racism against African Americans. When those two things get going, there's a sickness in society that can't be beat. And the lies that we're told to divide blacks and Jews stop tonight. The lie that they tell us, the lie that they tell us
That's
that
right.
Sephardic Jews participated in the slave trade.
That's
they
right.
were the big slavers, not quite so. The lie that they tell us that blacks and Jews who work together to transform America.
Listen, when I say y'all are in trouble, I don't know any other way to say it. I want to sound, I don't want to sound facetious and whatnot, because sometimes I could come across as brash. But when I say that people are in trouble, because them people from over there, from the places rhymes with lion, when I say that they showing their fangs, when they've turned up the heat, when I say that they demand a ring gets kissed, when I say that they're going to make people bow and take a knee, when I say that we've been warning and getting we've been given the facts. You have not been giving this an emotional type of campaign, you know, because there's emotional campaigns against, you know, the massacres, and there's emotional campaigns where people plead to your emotional faculties. All these, I'm very passionate and I lead, you know, with my passion, and it has an emotional connotation to it. I've been presenting facts since 2020 extensively, and before that even more. I mean, before that extensively, and then after that even more extensively, up until the point where we have deep research and we have AI agents that are going ahead and pull up 1,000 sources for you, 1,000. So imagine the glee that my spirit feels when I look around and I see that the whole world is on timing. What I mean by that is they're all they're hip to who these people are at this point in the game. They were not hip like this a few years ago. This shit was a wool that was pulled over so many people's eyes, but so many people can see it for what it is. And the more you can see it for what it is, you're going to be able to fully understand how to move through this thing, not how to get caught up in this thing, not how to be emotionally attached or detached from this thing, how to checkmate and move on this chessboard and whatnot, how to 4 moves ahead of yourself. You're not showing your hand. You're not showing your hand. You're not shooting your load. You feel me? You're not broadcasting your steps and the moves that you're going to make. You're just making them because man does not broadcast their moves. Man moves. And if it don't move, it's not man. You understand? What makes man? Action. Man moves. Man doesn't contemplate. You understand? There's a type of man that contemplates. There's a type of man that sits around and they're just the thinker and the knower. Then there's man who's the doer, and that's what makes man. Okay? Don't let nobody get it effed up. That's what makes man and woman, of course, but man is the doer. We make it happen. We don't have time to sit around. We figure it out as we're doing it. Okay? So let us continue with more of these let's listen to sis, man. God damn it. It's a lot of them like this out here.
America and hence the world.
But this is the old playbook, by the way. They used to do this in the 80s. This is Jesse Jackson time shit. They would always have a sheet that they would have our people read, and it sounded just like that. We struggle together. We are made for one another. If anybody said that we had something to do with the they was doing that after Farrakhan dropped a book, after Farrakhan did one of those Million Man marches. This is a script.
Society. And its twin is racism against African Americans. When those two things get going, there's a sickness in society that can't be beat. And the lies that we're told to divide blacks and Jews stop tonight. The lie that they tell us, thank you. The lie that they tell us that Sephardic Jews participated in the slave trade, they were the big slavers, not quite so. The lie that they tell us that blacks and Jews who worked together to transform America and hence the world in the 50s and 60s, that alliance called the Grand Alliance can never come back because it was rooted in social justice. Jews became rich, we did not. We focused on affirmative action. They focused on wealth and accomplishment. Not true. Social justice as an interpretation of the Hebrew Bible is reason enough to have a coalition of blacks and Jews, but there are many more reasons. Once we dispel the big lies, I think we have a powerful force. And I'd like to make the case that Jews really need us for the simple.
Wait till you hear the rappers start saying this. You think this is something? No, I'm telling you, they're activating all of their property. They're activating all of their thoughts and all of their bots. They activate in the thought farm and the bot farm. All of their whores that they own on blackmail and then vicariously by contract, they're about to activate everyone. Everybody's about to read the script on camera. Everybody's about to pledge allegiance. Watch and see what I said. Watch.
Fact, and this is something that's been hard for me to believe, but I've been told many times, I've read it many times. There are no more than 15 to 20 million Jews on earth. Is that true? In a world of 8.1 billion people, you kind of need black people because on the continent we're growing fast and we're good fighters. We like a good fight. We're good people. Don't believe what they tell you. You need numbers. Sometimes you lose just because of numbers. But what's been remarkable about Israel, it defeats all of its adversaries, 7, 8, however many, in small numbers, and never asks anyone to fight for itself.
Bro, this is when rhetoric becomes, or this is when willful ignorance becomes detrimental. You feel me? There needs to be fact checkers at every single lock and step. Who saw Ben Shapiro on the Breakfast Club blatantly lying about a genocide and nobody was fact checking him? Not a soul. Like what we're witnessing is the inept of black media led by Charlemagne the God. You know, he's like the academics of Boule, compromised hip hop media, and then academics would be the online new media version of that. They're both considered to be trolls of the troll. They are both considered to be graduates of Troll Academy, and you know they're glitches in this system. Okay, so wait and see how many people get activated to pledge the allegiance. She's just the first wave, but it's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be worse than when they were offering hamburgers for the Jabberwocky. Check us out.
300 Native Americans at Wounded Knee in 18. So did you hear about Pete Hegseth's praise for the soldiers who carried out the infamous massacre of about 300 Native Americans at Wounded Knee in 1890?
We salute their memory. We honor their service.
Yeah, so a little context here. Soon after that massacre, 20 members of the 7th Cavalry were awarded Medals of Honor for their conduct that day. Conduct that included opening fire with machine guns on a Native American encampment filled with non-combatants, executing people who were wounded or trying to surrender, chasing down and killing women and children who had fled more than a mile from the attack site, and then dumping the hundreds of dead, including scores of women, children, and elderly, in a huge mass grave. One officer said of his men opening fire, "It seemed to me only a few seconds till there was not a living thing before us. Warriors, squaws, children, ponies, and dogs, for they were all mixed together." Another soldier remembered, quote, "the screams of mothers as machine gun bullets tore their bodies apart." He called it a cold-blooded massacre. So the Army calling this atrocity the Battle of Wounded Knee and handing out all those medals was a way to cover up what actually happened. But a century later, in the early 1990s, Native Americans and their allies began to push the Army to revoke the Medals of Honor. The final decision had yet to be rendered when Pour Me Another Pete made this announcement.
Under my direction, we're making it clear without hesitation that the soldiers who fought in the Battle of Wounded Knee in 1890 will keep their medals. And we're making it clear that they deserve those medals.
Yeah, for all that honor.
This decision is now final, and their place in our nation's history is no longer up for debate.
True, but not in the way you think.
We salute their memory, we honor their service, and we will never forget what they did.
Also true, but not in a good way. Well, there you have it. This move fits right in with Hegseth's decision to rename 9 military bases for Confederate traitors, to delete Pentagon web pages about the Tuskegee Airmen and Navajo Code Talkers, and to purge books about racism and black history from West Point. Pete keeps saying he's restoring the warrior ethos to the U.S. military, but it's pretty clear he's all about the white ethos.
This is the same man who has tattoos of the same way that a gangbanger would have tattoos of their set. He has tattoos of his set, and his set is definitely KKK. You know, it is. You know, it's just as plain as it is. I mean, he's tatted up, like son is tatted up with all of the insignia. Like, it doesn't get more blatant than that. This is the head of the Department of War. This is the same person that is having an emergency meeting tomorrow with 800 generals. This is that same person who's having an emergency meeting tomorrow with 800 generals, right? This is the person who's ordering these right here.
We work for you. We work for you.
This is in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. This is in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, they are on the boots and grounds in Chicago. Yeah, going through there as a, you know, the National Guard and the Federal Army.
We work for you. We work for you.
Thank you very much.
right? So why they do all of that, right? Running through the hoods and intimidating people, okay? They're also targeting the celebrities. They're also targeting people who are quote unquote have face cards. Face, check this out.
I'm opening the door. You can take mine off of me right here on my right. I'm keeping my fucking hands up. I'm not reaching for no gun, bro. Step out. Can I move my phone?
Yeah, that's crazy.
They gotta remind you. Right? They gotta keep you in place. They gotta remind you that it can happen to anybody, right? You know that they was tracking that man and they doing this for intimidation purposes to keep in alignment, right? This heavily melanated black man, this unapologetically black man.
Can I move my phone?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right after he received a parade and a key to the city in the same state that they gave him a key to the city and the parade, they did this to the good brother Terrence Crawford, right? So one of the reasons why we are pushing this AI is because we need to get back to writing. We need to get back to quote unquote publishing. We need to get back to either papers, magazines, blogs, you name it. You know what I mean? You name it. But we got the tools to do it because we got stories to tell on a daily basis. There's no shortage.
You know why they really feared the Black Panthers? It wasn't the guns. It was the newspapers. That paper taught everyday people how to spot propaganda, how to organize, how to fight back with receipts. The Black Panther newspaper dropped in 1967, and it wasn't just some political rant sheet. It was a lifeline written by Black people for Black people, breaking down housing injustice, police violence, global liberation struggles, all of it. And this was years before social media, of course. If you wanted the truth and not the government's version of it, you had to find that paper. And people did. It reached 100,000 readers per week. That's not hype, that is impact. They weren't writing for approval, they were writing to wake people up. Every issue came with real names, real faces, real grief, but also power. The art, brutal, unflinching. Cops drawn as pigs, Black mothers mourning their sons. It wasn't about shock, it was about truth. A truth so raw that the FBI labeled the paper as a national threat. Not the guns, not the marches, the paper. Because this wasn't just print, it was proof. You want to know what political education looked like before hashtags and think pieces? It was the Black Panther. Panthers had to read it weekly, no exceptions. It broke down capitalism, food insecurity, medical apartheid, international solidarity, in plain, everyday language. It taught people how to survive, how to fight back. Not just with fists, but with knowledge, with purpose, with strategy. The FBI wasn't scared of riots. They were scared of the people thinking. That paper connected the dots. It reminded people that the same government bombing Black neighborhoods abroad was starving Black kids here at home. You weren't just reading about injustice, you were learning how it was engineered. We talk a lot about the Panthers, leather jackets and rifles, that sort of thing. But this was the real weapon, the newspaper. Because once people start thinking critically, once they start organizing, once they start connecting oppression to systems, not just bad luck, that is when revolution becomes possible. And that is exactly what they are still afraid of.
I just want to say this to our Christian friends, you know, just to call it as it is and say it straight out, you know, you guys are worshiping one Jew. That's a mistake. You should be worshiping every single one of us, because we all die for your sins every single day. And that's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah.
We're all God's firstborn, and we're dying for your sins right now because the Jewish people in the land of Israel are the bulwark against the orcs. Okay? The orcs are coming not to a theater near you, but to your home.
The Rothschilds rewrote the Bible to force feed Zionism to Christians. In 1909, the Oxford University Press published Schofield's Reference Bible.
Go and look up Schofield's Reference Bible, one of the most important research requests that you're going to hear on this channel is to go and research this Bible, because this is the Bible that the Bible thumpers, that are evangelical Christians in America, the far right, the extremists, this is the one that this is the Bible that they're using. This is the one, this is the quote unquote, this is the egregor, all right? This is the grimoire. So go and check that out. Go and do the research. Go and look up what this man is saying. Don't believe nothing that he says. Don't believe a word that he's saying. You know what I mean? Go and check it out for yourself.
The Rothschilds rewrote the Bible to force feed Zionism to Christians. In 1909, the Oxford University Press published Schofield's Reference Bible despite him having little academic training. Who was Oxford's biggest Zionist donor? The Rothschilds. This edited Bible teaches that the Jews are the chosen people to reclaim the land of Israel despite the costs. This was psychological warfare to brainwash Christians, and it indoctrinated past generations to believe a lie. Follow for more uncensored truth.
A week after Thailand froze.
Check this out. Check this out.
I do not see this being spoken about enough. Vietnam closed another 86 million bank accounts a week after Thailand froze 3 million bank accounts. And you guys want to know the whole reason why they're doing this to people? It's because people aren't trying to comply with this whole digital ID thing. Basically, they're trying to digitize everything. They're trying to digitize your identity. They're trying to automate and digitize the jobs and the workforce. They're also trying to automate and digitize the financial industry. And it's happening in Thailand, bro. Like, this isn't just some Western concept you often see people talk about. Like, is the end times only happening in America? No, they do it in these other countries where media isn't that popular because they can get away with it much better. People will go along with it. It's easier for them to manipulate when all the eyes aren't on said topic. And it's coming here. Yeah, it is. I'll show you. Quick Google search. Is digital IDs coming to America? Yes, they are coming to the US. And it says here that digital IDs can be saved in digital wallets like an Apple wallet or a Google wallet. Guys, look, we're here. This like is really happening, bro. Like Terminator, all these movies, WALL-E, iRobot, like all these movies, they tried to warn us, bro. And it's not that they tried to warn us, they really just were letting us know what's going to happen in the future. Will you be getting a digital ID? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, let me know your thoughts regarding this digital ID and what all you think is really going on here. But hey, you know, we were warned. We definitely were warned. The Bible says in Revelation 13 that
promise. Starting in late 2026, Alberta will be the first province to implement the addition of Canadian citizenship markers to our driver's licenses and identification cards. This simple addition will have a profound impact on how Albertans interact with their government and their communities. Why are we doing this? Because we believe in making things better, faster, and more convenient for everyone. By including citizenship information on these cards, we're streamlining access to vital services, whether it's applying for student aid, accessing health benefits, or supporting those with disabilities. No longer will Albertans need to carry multiple documents or face unnecessary hurdles. This change means that when Albertans need to prove both their identity and their citizenship, they'll be able to do so with a single document. It's about reducing red tape, cutting down on paperwork, and making sure that government works for you, not the other way around. Programs like Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped, Alberta Student Aid, and the Persons with Developmental Disabilities program all require proof of citizenship. With this new marker, accessing these supports will be simpler and more secure. Adding a Canadian citizenship marker is also about protecting our democracy. Election security is a vital concern in Canada. By adding citizenship information to Alberta's driver's licenses and ID cards, we're taking a proactive step toward ensuring that only eligible citizens cast ballots in our elections. This helps safeguard the integrity of our electoral process and strengthens trust in our democracy. I also want to be clear that non-citizens, such as permanent residents, that still qualify for Alberta's driver's licenses will not have any marker displayed. Lastly, as we announced several weeks ago, we will also be integrating Alberta healthcare numbers onto driver's licenses, also in late 2026. This will also provide additional security around healthcare numbers, as we have learned through our refocusing of the healthcare system that there are more than 500,000 healthcare numbers registered than there are people living in Alberta. 530,438 to be exact, based on second quarter 2025 population estimates.
Yeah, so as you can see, right? As you can see, and once again, I don't fearmonger, but I definitely I read writing on I'm able to read the writing on the wall. If you wanted to travel to Africa and certain places, I would go now. If you got the scratch to go ahead and chill somewhere for 6 months, I would do that now. You know, I would move around. If this is something that you are not in agreement with, if this is something that you're like, hey, no way, cool. Get a head start, because having the no way attitude and just moving around while they push that button and you're inside of that box that they're closing in, that's not how that I wouldn't encourage you to do it like that. Compliance, right? Remaining where you are is going to count for compliance. The way that they're about to lock this thing down, they're about to lock this thing through the digital matrix in ways that people probably have no idea. They probably can't even fathom, but the bodies are going to be on the blockchain, biometrics, all type of shit. So yeah, that window of just this reality that we're in right now, that window is closing. Reality is going to change very soon. And it's just something worth noting and whatnot. And once again, it's not a fear tactic, because promise you, if I decided that I wanted to lead with fear, I would take full advantage of that. I would take full advantage of that. If I decided to lead in fear, man, oh man, I would get in my fear Birkin, because it's not hard right now. It's not a difficult stance to take. I'm just giving you the heads up. And there's ways to level up, but it's going to take the collective working as a collective. You know what I mean? Working like a beehive, working like an ant farm. That's going to be the cheat code, amongst many other cheat codes. But that would be the first one, non-bloody, non-consequential. You know, it doesn't involve any type of compromising of freedom. Just get together without them getting you together. Start there. You have to be proactive, because being reactive is a part of game theory, right? They've already figured it out, like how they figure out how to beat the chess game. They've already figured out every possible move that you can make. Let's check this out. Captain Kirk's work and whatnot. And what's the result of that?
They downloaded the new DLC. This is the new content drop. This is the new mind virus. This is the new meme that is now going to spread across all of them and create a wave of radicalization toward that fascist, white Christian national agenda that they started on. They started on that shit. America was sort of kind of a break from that agenda to some degree. They kind of put it on the back burner, but now they're bringing it back to the forefront again. This is how the transatlantic slave trade started, with fascist white Christian nationals. This was all a competition between these different European powers to say, nah, I'm the big boy of the tiny man. All right, so this is where we kind of get into that. So when we see what they're doing with Charlie Kirk, right, they are using symbols, trauma, repetition, creating a narrative and a story around this character, right, to where now they are pushing it into a particular audience to the point in which they are now ignoring all of the facts of the situation because they're bought into a reality, and now it is their truth, and they're going to act like it is true until they can rewrite the history books to make it the truth officially on paper.
Right.
This is how we ended. This is how sovereigns ended up in slavery. The rewriting of narratives, the rewriting of stories,
right,
based on conquest and colonization, right? But this is how you colonize a culture for real, with memes. The Bible, they handed you that first, right? Okay, that's a book of memes.
Right, super memes.
Super memes, hypersigils, in fact. A book of nothing but hypersigils. Pope Pablo can speak to it a little bit better than I can, but I'm sure we would agree.
Oh, you talking. Please continue. You got it.
So this is how they infiltrate you first. It's the memes, it's the ideas. That's what weakens the body politic. That's what weakens the tribe, the city-state, the nation, the country. It's the ideas that infect like a virus.
Right.
And then they can clip you physically. Again, hyperstition, hyperreality, hypersigil. We laid the story out first of how we gonna wipe you out. And because we are so fanatically engaged in that story, we can make these motherfuckers go spill blood about it. And that's what brings life to it.
So they said that they sent homie's family the eulogy 2 weeks before he gets clipped. Then they put the book on Yahoo, on Amazon the day before he gets clipped. All of that is high level hypersigil magic. That's how they cook you. South Park,
just like that.
Yeah, South Park puts the episode out, and the Simpsons put the episode out. That's all they people right there doing a hit before the hit happens. That's how they work in the fantasy complex industry. And we think it's, oh, yo, did you see that episode? No, they have something called hypersigil, hyper reality. You know what I mean? There's a way that they make things come from.
Right. And you speak to is this the process that's known as priming?
Yes, we can also call this whole thing predictive programming as well.
Yeah. That's the replay. Make sure y'all get your hands on that. It's gonna be for a low price tonight. I don't know how long it's gonna stay like that, but I'm showing love to everybody because I want the people who didn't get an opportunity to get the lecture to go ahead and get it. Shout out to everybody that went ahead and got y'all tickets and was in the building. I do have to get back to the business at hand. I have so many pots on the stove. You have no idea. Hands are full. Very, very busy. Working. Cooking. The next pot is on the stove. The next upcoming situation that we have is in New Orleans. That's on October the 18th, you ladies and gentlemen. October the 18th, the Health and Wealth Expo. The Health is Wealth Expo. The Twin Pillars, bringing back Mama Pill. And we got Brother Heru. That's going to be in the NO, all right? There's a change of address. We'll give you the new address this week. There's going to be a change of address, okay? New address. Health is Wealth Expo, 1018. Be in the New Orleans area, ladies and gentlemen. Be in the New Orleans area in the NOLA. This is going to be one for the record books, all right? As you know, the replay is available. Go ahead and get the replay at KTL University. And while you're at it, go ahead and get the Triple AI workshop. Go ahead and get the Triple AI workshop. And go ahead and pick up the 4.4 master course that is going to have Red Pillar, H Factor, and my good brother Tariq Bey from Jetson Life. 4 weeks, we're going to be teaching you how to build MCPs, vibe code, and custom chat GPTs. These are all going to be make sure you go and get that. The rollout for that will be this Sunday. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get a word from our sponsors, and then we are out of here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here.
The gods of intelligence aren't myths. They're here. Artificial intelligence is rewriting the rules of power right now. Will you master it or be mastered by it? Most are drowning in AI hype, hesitating, confused, while the future slips into the hands of those who act first. That's why Blackmagic 363 presents AI Masters, the Gods of Intelligence, with Seven Bomar and Red Pillar, two visionaries revealing how to align with AI to elevate your life and unlock true power. Seats are limited. Energy is high. History is unfolding now. Click below and reserve your spot for AI Masters, the Gods of Intelligence. The future belongs to those who move first.
Also on Thursday, we got Brother Rich in the building. We got a special episode called Rich Phil. This is going to be about manifestation. This is also going to be about the AI. All right. Special episode on Thursday called Rich Phil, featuring Rich Phil and Brother Rich, Brother Rich Phil and Brother Rich. That one, or Radiohead Rich. So be in the building on Thursdays. We got Techno Tuesdays, mañana, with the good brother Spence City in the building. Techno Tuesdays with Spence City in the building. Make sure y'all pull up for that. That's going to be a movie. All right. Then on Wednesday, for all of my ticket holders, me and Spence City are going to be in a Discord. We have a how-to class specifically for the Masters of the Universe, or the AI Masters Discord. That is going to be on Wednesday. Look out for that. And then on Thursday, we got Father Rich. And then on Friday, we also have something else planned for y'all. Yeah, we cooking. You know what I'm talking about? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Make sure to hit like. Make sure to leave a comment. Make sure to share the video. And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. You just got your ticket earlier. Salute. All right. So with that being said, y'all, peace, love, and light. We'll see you in the building. All right. Pay us in crypto. All right. Let's get that crypto up. Pay us in crypto. And we got another crypto show coming up. So look out for that. Shout out to Crypto Bitcoin Bully.
Pay us in crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up that dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped nose. Acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up at Mistos, causing chaos and play up Calypso. I pause in kitchens and caused addictions. I pause prescriptions and cause inflictions. Lil Bixby playing in stores and Brixton on the dark web. You gotta pause every doors, cause encryptions. Tesla engines, pause the pistons. I seen every floor I leave sore and listing. For that action, they sponsored the Bronson. They was hooked on that shit like Johnson and Johnson. That freeway, Ricky Ross, straight out of Compton, straight out of Bompton. Red on blue, violence in the land. The projection of the will, the perfection of the kill, the reflection of the pills.
I'm a frontline soldier, I'm no doja. These crystals not for focus and crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets slips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up the pistols, causing chaos and play a calypso. Hickory dickory down, hit a lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot. Heavy in the meadow, we slip off a knot. Heavy in the ghetto, they crib walk a lot. Crib walk the crypto, lift off the stocks. Drips off the crystal and pots. Disco rods in the blocks on my chain from the crystal shop. In the light there, lift off the rock. Toe Virgil right chain on my block. White paint on my socks. White paint on my socks. Hickory dickory dock. Hit the lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot, we lick off a shot. Players in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets slips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up the pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso.